Yeah, careful, bro. Hello, people of the tube. We are very excited to show you what we are doing today. With the help of a couple people here and there, we're going to cut off the skid on this side because over a period of time of grinding the asphalt, this thing has gotten so thin to where it's going to start to wear the face of the grinder here. And we have two sides, this being the left side and then the other side being the right side. But the whole deal here is to very carefully cut every stitch weld that is here, as well as the other side, cut the material to size, which we're gonna use this 2-inch. Is a little bit wider than what we have here, but nevertheless it'll be better because now we have more material to skid across the pavement, and it'll last longer. Stay tuned, we'll take you along and hopefully you enjoy it. What you guys are thinking, like, he could have done a lot faster with the plasma, but you know what, it's so much more rewarding to cut this thing with the flame because it's kind of like an ancient tool that is kind of facing out, but it's so therapeutic to me to be able to just come in, melt the metal away, and it's kind of like a game because although I'm trying to melt this metal, I'm trying not to hurt the main structure of the equipment. So it is a lot of fun to me to do it this way. Cutting the old whatever was remaining of that skid. So now we're gonna move into do a quick grind, clean it, and then we're gonna cut the pieces, present them, bend them, and then we'll proceed to weld them back on there. I was torturing myself trying to grind this thing with the flapper wheel, and although it does great, I mean it's a great finish, but it's a lot of work to get it done. So I just got my handy dandy grindy wheel. It's probably going to be noisier on your guys' behalf, but Nevertheless, it's gonna be easier on me. Let me try this other side and see what I can come up with. My neighbors weren't awake yet. They're for sure out now. We're all done cutting, cleaning. Now the next thing is fabricating the skids and sticking them on. 30, I'm gonna call it a 34-inch. 34, whoa, there is a line already there. You know what? I'm just gonna use that line. I'm gonna cut 1/8 of an inch outside that 34 line, or that orange line, and that'll be it. Every time you're trying to use this thing, either the fuel run off or the oxygen runs off. And I think in this case, we have a low oxygen on our tank, so I'm having trouble cutting. A lot of people, will mistakenly continue to try to cut, and then they make a mess out of it. So if you guys look at the needles here, this one's still sitting at 400. So this has got plenty of fuel. You go up here and look at our oxygen. Our oxygen is down to 0. And so I noticed that it's just not cutting, and it made a freaking nasty cut. So now I got to do a lot of grinding to make it just a little bit presentable. We're gonna choose the best cuts on here, and this is a pretty good cut. It was done some time ago, and this is the cut I did today with a little bit of oxygen. So I'm gonna choose this too to be towards the front. So I'm gonna heat up the end a little bit and then bend it to fit this contour here. So when we come back here with it all made, we're gonna have this thing pretty much sit right here. We're gonna be able to have the I think it's like maybe 15-degree angle up in there. So this thing is beefy, man. Compared to the one we took off, about 1/16 of an inch. Now we're having to bend a 1/2 inch steel. It's gonna be way thicker. And get this tank replaced and get back on it. Copy an angle. This is the way I'm gonna do it. Making the wire as straight as I can possibly make it, so that I can copy the contour of the bend that I want to bend on the metal right now. So straight,
looking pretty straight there.
Sweet. So I'm gonna put a little bend here. So this is gonna be my handle right here. Now what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna copy this angle here. And just about right there, dude. Okay, so we want to make sure we have this angle right here onto this right here. So when we come back with this, we're gonna have this bent this much. I like that. Perfect. I call it perfect. See what it looks like right here. I'll buy it. Maybe it needs a little bit less, but nothing a hammer adjustment can't help. That's one way to achieve perfection. One more time. The other one was a little bit too much, so I'm gonna leave it right there. It looks like Needs a little bit more, but I think I'm gonna present it over there. I like it right there, dude.
Preservation?
Persuasion?
Preservation.
Something like that. Trying to square it off and clean up the end a little bit. If you take an extra time to grind these things off, the presentation is just out there, you know. We gotta go and grab our welder, and we gotta melt these pieces right onto this thing, and then we'll be finished. This is looking more like towards the end of the job here. Brand new male end for our 50 amp extension cord here so that we can run our welder. Be sure to do this only if you know what you're doing. Electrical could be tricky and sometimes
Deadly.
breathtaking, if you know what I mean. Many mechanics work here with me and they always end up doing this wrong. And so what happens here is they don't make sure that this gets clamped down securely, and within time people grab this cable and start pulling, and they're yanking on this wire, so the wire will come off, start contacting around here, and then when you touch this thing it'll shock you. Or worst thing is it'll stop working. One leg will start working, stop working, and it'll burn like your welder or whatever you have connected to it, because 110, whatever you have running on 240, if you're missing one leg, it'll burn your whatever you're running. So this is the number one failure on everything. It's your security here needs to be always on.
Hey, shut up, we're recording a video.
9.5, 5:15. There we go. You know what? It'll work a lot better if we turn on the shell gas. Like right now, we're perfectly square with the wall here, and I can just make this easier on me or make it harder. And what I want to do here, since I have an angle here, if I want and weld this thing here, then this thing is going to secure itself and it's not going to move and it's not going to change from there. Now, if we went ahead and made a mistake, welding here first, which that's what everybody does, then the heat will pull this bar and it'll move it out of where it's at. So we're just trying to play the game here right, and so we're gonna go ahead and weld. I'll say it's perfect. If I was a baker, this will be my icing. So we tuck it sort of where we think it's gonna be.
Tuck it like I want.
Tackles. And she's a little open, and she's perfect there. So by putting a tuck here, I think it'll tilt it towards where we want. Let's try that. Yeah, baby, yeah. Very simple job that we just finished doing here. It took us what, roughly 4 hours, and then in between there we had a cool break and cool us down and came back out here and finished it. Now you know, it may or may not be the way everybody does it. That's the way I do it. If you like what you see, by any means, give us a like. Maybe even go as far as subscribing to our channel. That'll be great, and it'll keep our content flowing to you guys. Vámonos.